Members, it is the appointed time and we have a quorum. Now we proceed with the election of chairman and deputy chairman of the panel on administration of justice and legal services for the 2022 session. The Secretariat has issued a notice notifying members that as at the close of the nomination period for chairmanship of the panel, only one valid nomination was received. That is Mr. Chen Kwok-kwan, nominated by Ms. Priscilla Leung and seconded by Mr. Holden Chow. Since Mr. Chen Kwok-kwan, Mr. Horace Cheung has not been elected the chairman or deputy chairman of any other panels, nor is he a chairman or deputy chairman of any relevant government advisory bodies. In accordance with the rules of procedure and the House rules, I announce Mr. Horace Cheung elected the chairman of this panel for the 2022 session. Congratulations. Thank you, members, for all your support. Now we proceed with the other items on the agenda. Now, election of deputy chairman for of this panel for the 2022 session. The Secretariat has issued a notice notifying members that as of the end of the nomination period for deputy chairmanship, 2 valid nominations were received. According to the orders, when the nominations were submitted, these members are Mr. Ambrose Lam and Ms. Eunice Hung. Mr. Ambrose Lam is nominated by Dr. Junius Ho and seconded by Ms. Doreen Kong. Ms. Eunice Yung is nominated by Mr. Martin Liao and seconded by Mr. Jimmy Ng. The 2 members have not been elected the chairman or deputy chairman of any other panels, nor are they the chairman or deputy chairman of any relevant government advisory bodies. In accordance with the rules of procedure and the House rules, I announce that a secret ballot will be conducted. Now, will the staff members please issue a ballot paper and a stamp with a tick to every member. Please wait for the ballot papers to be issued. If members leave their seats, no ballot papers will be issued. After members have put their stamp on the ballot papers, I will announce the procedure closed. No more ballot papers will be issued. The staff will collect the ballot papers. All members who have been issued a ballot paper have to put their ballot paper into the ballot box. Before doing that, please do not leave your seat. In accordance with the House rules, each candidate will be allocated a number according to the order. Please put a tick next to the name of the candidates of your choice. Number 1, Mr. Ambrose Lam. Number 2, Ms. Eunice Yung. This is a secret ballot. Please don't show your ballot paper to others. Please close the stamped ballot paper. You don't have to fold the ballot paper. Please put your stamp. Does everyone have a ballot paper? If you have put the stamp on your ballot paper, I announce the voting procedure closed. No more ballot paper will be issued. Altogether, 15 ballot papers have been issued, excluding myself. So I'm putting the stamp now. Now please collect the ballot papers.
請所有獲派選票嘅委員
Members who have been given a ballot paper, please put the ballot paper into the box. Before doing so, please do not leave your seat.
好，有冇人未交翻選？
Has anyone not submitted their ballot paper yet? I shall count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we will count the votes. May I invite the proposer and the seconders to monitor the vote counting procedure. Dr. Junius Ho and Mr. Jimmy thank you.
好，唱票啦。
Now let's announce the vote. Number 1. Number 2, Miss Eunice Young. 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 Number 1, Mr. Ambrose Lam. Number 2, Miss Eunice Young. Number 1, Mr. Ambrose Lam. Number 1, Mr. Ambrose Lam. Number 2, Miss Eunice Young. 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 Number 1, Mr. Ambrose Lam. Number 2, Miss Eunice Young. Thank you, members. Please return to your seats. Now, I shall announce the result. Number 1, Mr. Ambrose Lam, 5 votes. Number 2, Ms. Eunice Young, 10 votes. There are no invalid votes. I announce Ms. Eunice Young elected the Deputy Chairman of this panel. All ballot papers will be immediately destroyed subsequent to the meeting as monitored by the Secretariat. Now let's proceed to the next item. The next item is the dates of meeting for the 2022 session. Regular meeting each month. In the previous session, this panel's regular meeting was scheduled at the 4th Monday each month at 4:30 p.m. Do all members agree that we adhere with the existing arrangement? No objections? If that's the case, please refer to the scheduled timetable for the regular meetings in this session. The dates and times of the meeting between February and June shall be 4:30 p.m. The fourth Monday each month. Next item, items for discussion at the next meeting. I report to members. At the council meeting on the 16th of February this year, we shall conduct a debate on the motion of thanks concerning the policy address. As advised by the administration, the Secretariat has reserved the 9th of February, a Wednesday, between 4:30 p.m. and 6 p.m., where we will receive the briefing on Policy Address 2021 from the Secretary for Justice and the Director of the Administration Wing. Is that agreeable to all members? No objections? It is confirmed then. Then for the regular meeting in February, the administration proposed 2 items for discussion at the next meeting. First, arbitration and legal practitioners legislation. Outcome-related fee structures for arbitration amendment bill 2022, and item 2, mainland judgments in civil and commercial matters, reciprocal enforcement bill. Concerning these proposed items at the February regular meeting, do members have any objection? It is set then. And I would like to ask members concerning items for discussion for this session, do you have any suggestions? And also, prior to the meeting, the Secretariat has received a letter from Mr. Vincent Zhang, or rather Paul Chair. It is not circulated yet. Any other suggestions? Dr. Junius Ho, Ms. Eunice Yong, Deputy Chairman, Dr. Junius Ho, Ms. Maggie Chan, Mr. Ambrose Lam, and Mr. Paul Chair. Deputy Chair, thank you. I have 2 items for discussion. The first one is more urgent. There are reports that many courts are dealing with the cases from the black-clad violence period. Lawyers and barristers from the DOJ and are subject to doxing. So how can we protect the interests of the counsels on fiat and prosecutors? What is the procedure for investigation of these cases? And about mediation. In the previous session, I asked whether there is community mediation, and is the government still upholding a policy of mediation first and then litigation? Does the government still maintain this direction for the coming years? And about the mediation center at West Kowloon, will the government set up other offices in districts to promote community mediation? Thank you. Please take note of that, Secretariat. Ms. Maggie Chen. I have several items for discussion in this session. First, about legal aid, how it allocates, distributes cases to the solicitors, and about the use of law tech and how we can improve technology in courts. And also concerning the judicial officers and the DOJ, concerning the Constitution, basic laws, national security laws, and mainland laws. What is their understanding, and how many, are they receiving any training on these topics? Third, collaboration between Hong Kong and the GBA concerning legal profession development. And lastly, the role of DOJ and judicial officers. What is the recruitment requirements in terms of the Constitution, NSL, and so on?
上個
Well, Madam Chen referred to law tech. At the last term, we visited the West Kowloon Magistracy, and I think in this new term, we can arrange for more of the same as well. Dr. Priscilla Leung, Chairman. I'd like to follow up on the examinations or public examination for professional qualification. At the HALS panel, we did have discussion for a number of years. We did invite the Law Society's representative. They did conduct some studies, and there are diverse views among the law schools in Hong Kong, and I hope that once again we can have another go at this issue. Can we have a common public examination instead of just the PCL from the three law schools? I must declare that I'm teaching law at City University, although I'm not teaching PCLL. All right, point taken, Mr. Ambrose Lam. Chairman, thank you. During election, I heard from the legal profession, the land title ordinance, they're very concerned when the government set up a committee to look into this. All the members of the Bills Committee have already left. The law has been enacted, but it's yet to be implemented, and this is of concern to us. I go along with Ms. Maggie Chen that we should harness automation in our law courts. Hong Kong is lagging exceedingly behind. I think starting from last year, there is the court proceedings, electronic transaction, CAP 638, and the courts have been empowered to digitalize the proceedings. Unless we make things happen, things are moving exceedingly slowly. And in other parts, I mean, back in 2009, we started having the e-court, although this is not used as often as it should. In Singapore, they've started e-filing in 2000. Also, incorporation of solicitors' practice. This is terribly important. I have raised this with the SJ in our telephone conversation. Back in 1992, this was brought up. The AG looked at this, and we amended the legal practitioners ordinance. And we have to amend 16 pieces of subsidiary legislation. This is with the law draftsman of the DOJ. And the legal profession would like to see this happen as soon as possible. The Law Society has already agreed with that, and subject to DOJ's agreement, we can take this to the CJ. And we'd like to bring this up for discussion as a matter of urgency. Many young lawyers are concerned about the lack of candidates joining the legal causes, and there are many people who are advocating breaking the law to achieve justice, and this is polluting the young minds, and many people don't see any prospect in the legal profession, and I'm wondering whether we can do something at the secondary school or senior secondary level so that we can inculcate some legal concepts into the young minds. Dr. Junius Ho, Chairman, there are three things I'd like to bring up. First, or two rather. First, the professional development subsidy scheme, we should take full advantage of that. Back in or after 1997, the first chief executive put forward the PSDAS, and about $200 million of seed money was given to the profession. And this is really a good cause. This has facilitated the exchanges between the legal professions of the two places. I think Hong Kong is very much part of the GBA, and the legal professions accreditation examination has already started, and this is going to be very important. I think we have to reactivate the PSDAS. More subsidies should be given to benefit the legal profession. Second, the distinction between barristers and solicitors. Now, how can we narrow the gap between the two branches? Now, there is the higher right of audience, and there is the examination to determine whether a solicitor has the right of audience and represent the clients. I think Cap 159 has been enacted. It's been up and running for 5 to 6 years, and less than 130 solicitors have become qualified, and this is very much an irony. A fresh graduate with limited practice for 6 months, and after a year, he or she can have the right of audience. But solicitors appear in court on a regular basis, but they have to examine so many examinations. They have to jump through so many hoops, and when they come through the same PCL, why the difference? Mr. Porter, you mentioned letter by me. I'm sure that my fellow lawyers must have received this. That's regarding Cap 56, a legal practitioner's ordinance, and the fees and charges. Now, people could charge not according to the scale. Now, we have to rectify this particular section. I'm sure we know that we can do things by agreement, but that's not the original intention. We have to sort something out. Also, the China CAM, there are so many funds at the moment. Let's not talk about the lady who passed away. I mean, the court CFA has handed down the judgment for 6 years, and the DOJ has been stalling on the matter for such a long time. I think we have to bring this up to see how we can speed up the process with regard to China CAM. Ambrose referred to the land title ordinance. It has been sitting there for an awful long time. The young people do not really want to join the profession, and there are a lack of paralegals. And I think we have to speed things up. Are we going to get on with this, or are there any new ideas about land title ordinance? Ms. Doreen Kong. Chairman, thank you. Also, the land title ordinance. I used to be sitting on the Committee on Land Title Administration. I mean, they do have the new land first proposal. If they go start with the new land first, then there will be a great deal of changes to the land title system. I know that they do have the education panel in the government. If they do the new land first, then the DOJ should do a better job in the way of public education in Hong Kong. If there are two parallel systems, one old, another one new, that would be very confusing. In terms of land conveyancing, we do need to have a stable system to instill confidence in the public, and not least the overseas investors. I think they should do a better job in education. Right, Mr. Holden Chow. Chairman, thank you. Right, in the last term, we did talk about the judiciary and also judges undergoing some training on the Constitution. I think you should communicate with the judiciary. I think this term, well, this has been going on for some time, and I mean, after a while, they should come and bring us up to date on the latest development in this regard. And during the last term, the judiciary has made some positive responses, and they've undertaken to get on with it. I think at an opportune time, we should bring this up for them to bring us up to date on the latest situation. Thank you. Dr. Priscilla Leung, a second round. Yes, Chairman. The legal aid payment is being dispersed really excruciatingly slowly. There are some law firms that have been waiting for years on end before the payment would come through. And I've assisted some cases in which payment will not be dispersed for 6 to 7 years. That the law firms are really in dire strait at the moment. They do need the funding, and this is a matter of livelihood. Also, the JORC, J-O-R-C composition, this is something that should be considered. I hope that this would be made part of the agenda. This is a good system if we can appoint judges of good reputation that held in high esteem, then I'm sure that it's going to be minimizing all the doubt and suspicion in people's mind. Right, Mr. Kaman Khan. Right, perhaps I extend the meeting by 15 minutes. Madam Khan, Chairman, thank you. Following on from Mr. Holden Chow regarding the judicial officers and judges' understanding of the nation, I'm more concerned about the NSL. We have the designated judges sitting on these cases. The right of interpretation of the NSL lies with the NPCSC. I am concerned about this. I hope that the relevant authority will come before the panel regarding the designated judges and also the training offered to them and how they can accurately interpret the NSL and sit on the cases. Thank you. Madam Maggie Chen, Chairman, one question. Now, the COVID has been with us for more than 2 years now. The legal profession, the lawyers in Hong Kong, 80–90% of them are in small and medium-sized business during COVID. I am wondering whether there are any policies on the part of the government to assist the small and medium-sized law firms. I must declaration that I am the founding chairman of Assam Law in Hong Kong. Any further points? Right, I mentioned the legal aid department. I must make a declaration that I'm a panel solicitor of the legal aid department. Right, in accordance with our usual practice, myself and the deputy will be sitting down with the judiciary and the administration to work out the work plan. If members have any suggestions, by all means, let us know in writing. All the points that you've brought up, I will certainly be taking up with the administration as well as the judiciary. Right, item 4, any other business. Unless you have any AOB items, the meeting is now adjourned. Thank you all very much.